Welcome back to BikeBeat. When you first lay eyes on the 2026 Yamaha XS650, the immediate impression is familiarity wrapped in modern confidence. The profile is unmistakable, with its upright stance, rounded tank, and twin exhausts that harken back to the original models of the late 60s and 70s. Yet it doesn't look like a museum piece. The finishes, the way the panels align, the minimal but solid construction all speak to Yamaha's effort to revive the heritage without falling into the trap of being retro for retro's sake. Every curve of metal, every weld, every surface has a contemporary refinement that signals this isn't a mere throwback, it's a rebirth. Swing a leg over, and the ergonomics tell you something Yamaha clearly wanted riders to feel: this bike is approachable. The seat is well padded but firm enough for long journeys, with just the right taper to keep you locked in place without feeling cramped. The bars are wide enough for leverage in tight corners but not so tall as to feel cruiser-like. There's a sense of neutrality in the riding triangle. New riders won't feel intimidated, and experienced riders won't feel confined. Fire up the engine, and the sound is a deliberate echo of the past. Yamaha engineers went out of their way to preserve the distinctive thrum of the parallel twin, tuning the exhaust to deliver a low, throaty rumble at idle that builds into a lively bark when you twist the throttle. But it's not just about sound, it's about feel. The vibration, once infamous in earlier models, is now smoothed out with modern balancing, but they didn't eliminate it entirely. There's still a heartbeat in the bars and seat, a tangible pulse that connects you to the machine. It's character without discomfort, personality without penalty. As you pull away, you notice the clutch action is light and progressive. Gear changes are crisp, with short, positive throws. Around town, the bike feels nimble and light on its feet. The combination of a relatively low curb weight, hovering just under 200 kilograms, and a responsive chassis makes it easy to maneuver through traffic or tight backstreets. The engine's torque delivery is flat and predictable, so you're never hunting for power in the wrong gear. It's the kind of motor that forgives mistakes, rewards smoothness, and never overwhelms. On open roads, the XS650 stretches its legs. At highway speeds, the parallel twin hums at a comfortable cadence, offering enough overtaking power without needing to wring it out. Riders report that the sweet spot is in the mid-range. Rolling on from 3,500 to 6,000 RPM gives you a surge of usable grunt that feels satisfying but never excessive. Long rides are supported by improved fuel economy, with riders expecting around 45 to 50 miles per gallon depending on how hard they push. Combined with a tank that holds just over 13 liters, you're looking at a range that balances regular commuting with weekend escapes. The suspension deserves its own attention. The front forks are conventional in appearance but house modern internals, providing a balance of comfort and control. The dual shocks at the rear, adjustable for preload and damping, allow riders to tailor the ride to their weight and style. On city streets, the setup absorbs potholes and imperfections with ease. On twisty roads, the chassis remains composed and responsive. Push harder into corners, and you'll find stability and confidence, with ground clearance that's generous enough for spirited lean angles. This isn't a supersport by any means, but the joy lies in its honesty. It's a bike that encourages you to ride smoothly and rewards you when you do. Braking is another area where Yamaha gave the XS650 modern credibility. Up front, a dual-disc system with ABS ensures strong and predictable stopping power, while the rear disc provides balance without being grabby. The lever feel is progressive, giving you fine control whether you're creeping through town or braking hard from speed. ABS is tuned to be unobtrusive, intervening only when truly needed. For many riders who cherish retro aesthetics but demand modern safety, this balance hits the sweet spot. Aesthetically, the details tell the story. The tank has hand-brushed aluminum finishes with subtle pinstripes in certain colorways, nodding directly to iconic XS650 liveries of the past. The chrome on the pipes is deep and lustrous, while the side covers carry a discreet embossed logo that feels more like jewelry than branding. Wheels come in spoke designs with modern tubeless compatibility, giving riders the vintage look with fewer maintenance headaches. Lighting is fully LED, but Yamaha cleverly retained the classic round headlamp and bullet indicators to keep the period-correct shape. At night, the beam is crisp and wide, giving visibility that riders of the 70s could only dream of. Comparisons are inevitable. When placed against rivals like the Triumph Bonneville T100 or the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650, the Yamaha XS650 sits in a unique niche. The Triumph carries prestige and polish but at a higher price. The Royal Enfield offers affordability and retro charm but lacks the refined finish and advanced engineering Yamaha brings to the table. The XS650 slides neatly in between, delivering Japanese reliability, heritage authenticity, and a competitive price that makes it accessible without compromise. It's a careful balance of legacy, performance, and value that appeals to both seasoned enthusiasts and new riders entering the retro market. Customization is where the XS650 truly shines. Yamaha understands its cult following, so they built the bike with adaptability in mind. The subframe is modular, making it easier to swap seats or rear sections. The exhaust system can be upgraded without extensive modifications. The electronics, while modern, are not overbearing, no endless menus, no overcomplicated rider modes. It's simple, accessible, and open to tinkering. Builders who love creating cafe racers, scramblers, or bobbers will see the 2026 XS650 as a blank canvas, just as they did with the originals decades ago. For purists, it works perfectly straight out of the box. Pricing at around $9,000 to $9,500 makes it one of the most appealing retro motorcycles in its class. For that sum, you're getting a bike that blends authentic style, usable performance, and everyday reliability. It's a price that undercuts more premium retro machines while offering far more depth than budget alternatives. Factor in Yamaha's extensive dealer network and proven after-sales support, and it's easy to see why this model could quickly become a bestseller in the modern classic segment. Culturally, the XS650 has always been more than just a motorcycle. It was the bike that introduced many riders to customization, to hands-on ownership, and to the idea that a machine could be more than transport, it could be an extension of personality. By reviving the XS650 in 2026, Yamaha isn't just selling a motorcycle, they're rekindling a relationship with riders who want history in motion. They're appealing to nostalgia while giving younger riders a way to connect with an era they never lived through. That's powerful. Ride it through the city and people notice. Some recognize the name immediately, recalling memories of older family members riding an XS650 decades ago. Others just see the classic lines and stop to ask what it is. It's a conversation starter, a bridge across generations. Out on country roads, it feels equally at home, the engine humming contentedly, suspension soaking up bumps, and the view from the seat reminding you that motorcycling is as much about the journey as it is the destination. At the end of the day, what Yamaha has done with the 2026 XS650 is more than just reissue a retro bike. They've managed to create something that feels alive, purposeful, and distinctly Yamaha. It's not about being the fastest, or the most high-tech, or the cheapest. It's about balance. Balance between heritage and progress, between simplicity and refinement, between accessibility and depth. That's why the XS650 will matter not just to those who remember the original, but to anyone looking for a motorcycle with genuine character. And that's the magic here. A legend reborn, not as a copy of the past, but as a motorcycle that stands proudly in the present.